Welcome to Delite Side of Life. Another episode, another week. A tough week. Aluta Continua. I'm joined here by my friends, my guests. Noel. How are you, Noel?
I'm good. How you
Uh,
doing?
I'm good. I'm sorted. And Khotso or Khotso. How do we pronounce it?
Ke Khotso, Chief.
Khotso.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We want to talk about some of the happenings this week. I wanted to just get into the typical topics initially, but I thought I don't want to seem tone deaf, like I don't know what's going on, and as if we're not really thinking about these issues. And so on my way here, I was even listening to what's that guy, Big Zulu, because I'm investing now. Yeah, I need to get my Zulu in check. My name is halfway there, Tower. So, go rough out here, man. How has your week been, bro? Have you been looting? Have you been
Yo,
protesting?
bruv, I wish, dog. Hey, man. We have some fake blacks in our neighborhood, dog. I went to Wanda Park. I thought we were looting, but nah. Everybody wants to loot, but they don't want to start it.
What is fake blacks? It's part of our nature to loot.
Yeah, No, but I'm kidding. No, my week, my week has
Yeah.
been alright, man.
Uh,
Finally recovering. I'm feeling good. So yeah.
What have you seen? What have you come across? Have you come across any of these things?
Obviously now with the technological age we're in, but there's no way you haven't seen what's happening, man.
Hmm.
But here in the north, it's been calm, but I've been observing the situation on Twitter. Hey, Twitter's your friend, bruv.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I've seen how it's been escalating.
Views? When I caught.
Well, I did observe most of the things that were taking place on social media and on the news mostly. Well, yeah, for my side, I would say that I don't condone what's going on and why it's going on. I can't avail it, but hey, I understand from what they're coming from. Yeah, it's not okay, but it's okay.
Do you know what's going on?
Well, I get it, the reasoning is behind the reason what they're saying it's behind it is the that Zuma didn't have a fair trial and what do you call this? Yeah, that our constitution has changed within an hour or so. You know, the laws that have been implemented have changed drastically. Yeah.
Noah, do you condone? Do you not condone? Where are you with this whole thing?
I just want to add to how you started this podcast by saying Aluta Continua. Well, the saying is not complete. Victoire est certain. Victory is certain.
You know what Aluta I was referring to?
Yes.
Looting. When are you referring to the struggle?
Ends to the means.
Can you explain that other term you mentioned after the Aluta continue?
Victory is certain.
Okay.
The struggle continues. Victory is certain.
Mm.
I condone the criminality aspect of it, but the protest is needed.
You condone.
As you see now, English
Or you condemn.
high school was a long
You
time ago.
don't condone the criminality.
Thank you, yeah.
Okay,
But no, the
you
protest.
condemn it.
Yeah, the
Okay.
protests is needed. That's my standpoint, and
Yeah,
yeah,
you sticking to it.
I'm sticking to it. What is your understanding of this?
Yeah, I'm here and there with it, man. It's also easy to speak from a point of privilege. I mean, look where we're chilling right now. We're recording this. I don't hear any noise. No one's protesting over here. I know that revolution doesn't occur without this. It's just never happened before. But I also know that cool, Zuma might be whatever he is, but you kind of have to be fair, you know? That's how people view anything. Like, if he's gonna be jailed for 1, 2, and 3, what about other people? That's where the argument does hold some weight. And that's where, as a Zulu person, you'll be like, wait, why when it's our turn to be the leaders, to rule and all of those things? Why are we suddenly the worst? Why do we go? Why is Zuma the first president who goes to jail?
Bruv.
You know? So, and Zuma, as much as he might not seem to look out for the interest of you or me, but for Zulu people, in some way, they feel represented by him. He is their leader. You know, in many ways, they could say that him being the president or him being free or whatever has contributed to them, you know, being well off or whatever it is. So,
As a lot always says, Zuma has the intentions of black people at heart, the good intentions, their interest at heart. I don't know how much I agree with that, because I mean, he's been implicated in a lot of things. But one thing, though, I think we really have to kind of decipher is, what is the cause of the looting? Because, sharp, it started out as a pro-Zuma thing,
As
but
a
now,
protest,
as a pro-Zuma protest, but now people are saying that no, it's not. It goes beyond Zuma.
Yeah.
You know, Zuma's trial is just adding fuel on the fire, but the fire had already started. It just added sail to the ship, but the ship was already on course. So I think let's first decipher that. Do you think the protest is Zuma and the looting is because of pro-Zuma, or it's a different social issue at hand?
I would say that it's a different story to hand, because the way they're doing it, it's they don't, some of them they don't even know who Zuma is, because I was watching an interview.
There's people who don't know.
not like that.
Honorables JZ.
No, not
No,
like that.
Oh no.
They know.
So
They don't really understand the whole context, the issues, yeah, and the past, and why he was even worthy of being a leader.
And nakhona vele, some I was watching some interviews. They were saying, one of these taxi operators that were looking after some of these malls afterwards. They were saying, do you even know what you are marching for? And then they were like, but they don't even know what's really going on. Some of them are younger than 21 and stuff, and so on and so on. Wabo?
Yeah. So, like you were saying, we need to see where this started, right? Obviously, all the issues that we've always had, cool. But definitely the timing of this is very significant before Zuma getting arrested. I mean, last year. We could go into conspiracy theories, but I don't know if we should try and avoid that rather. But definitely the state of the nation due to lockdown and stuff like that, people are frustrated way more than normal.
Yeah.
And you know, like anything else, like you'd find a way to justify, you know what I mean, like the looting and stuff like that. So maybe you're gonna attach it to, I mean, you know what I mean, you're gonna attach it to the Zuma thing, and maybe you there because you are hungry. Like I know that's also
Use that as an excuse to the protest.
yeah, I know that exists as well. Yeah, but where it started, I really can't speak on that, man. And I think the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I don't think you need to be an expert on politics to try and understand. And the only way you can understand it is to converse with people and realize that maybe we share similar thoughts and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe we share similar thoughts, or maybe we don't, but that's the process of learning.
Yeah. So how would you say? Where do you think this stems from?
The protesting, I feel it stems from poverty, from unemployment, from false promises. I don't want to get too political, but hey man, black people are still suffering in this country, man. So many years.
Let's get too political. If you
into
can.
democracy, into a democratic nation. Like like the quality of life for black people is not really improving. So this problem has been bottled up for years, and almost 3 decades now. Almost 3 decades.
Yeah.
and the quality of life is not improving, while the rich continue getting richer and the poor get poorer.
So, what position are we in, for instance, as blacks, right? We say the quality of blacks, but not all blacks are in this rut. So, do you think we also a bit responsible for not assisting or not sharing in some of the resources and wealth? And we just like on some, no, rely on your government. Nah, I did what I had to do. We're not going to complain there. What about us looking out for the rights of people who don't have a voice, as much as you might have a voice, as much as you might have access? Do you think we are also partly responsible in our comfort? We do have that education by default and whatnot. We only really face these issues when we switch on the television, or when we hire someone who is gonna come and do the piece job at your to cut your grass. You think, oh, that's me being involved in the struggle or me helping. But on a grand scale, do we really make this an initiative, and should we?
Okay, I think we should, right? What I'd like to add is the bigger problem, or if I was to summarize it, is the miseducation of black people. Because right now we were given an education, we've been given a route that, you must become academics, for example. You must become academics. And now you go and become academics and boom.
Yeah.
The job industry does not cater for so many academics. While the practicality of us living in a third world country, in a developing country, there is still a lot of labor intensive jobs out there. But now we are not skilled for that. Rather, we are all just academics. You'll tell me that, I have a degree in marketing, but marketing jobs are few.
Extremely rare in South Africa.
While something like boiler making or welding, there is a need for that skill. So we are still, and I guess this is where institutionalized racism comes in, because now we are still being brought up under a colonialist education system where they are setting us up to get more in depth by being, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with academics, but not all of us are built for that. Our country is not at the stage that all of us should be academics.
Yeah. What are you academic for? Like, if there's no businesses to work at?
Yeah, there's no businesses to work at. We don't have the infrastructure to cater for these businesses. Yeah. We don't even have electricity everywhere in the country, but, there's so many people studying IT. Where are they going to go work at?
The thing is that, have you seen most of some of these students, Vele, or our age group, Vele, is that we tend to look at and hard labor as a thing of, no, I'm not gonna be the one to install electricity for somebody, or install pipes for somebody and come out wearing
we look down at that.
Yeah, we look down on the thing of, no, there is what you call this. There is a collar, a thing of wearing a collar and a shirt and a suit and going to work and working in an office. That's the thing that we look at as a thing of, it's a nice lifestyle. He's working and he's doing well, but not understanding getting paid at the end of the day counts.
Exactly, getting paid.
That's the objective, not your image.
Yeah, not your image. And where did we get that image from?
Western.
Exactly. And we're still taught that image.
So the idea is get rid of Western ways and maybe Western people.
No. The idea is to get rid of Western ways.
No, okay.
But you're trying to say that you're gonna lead us into Zimbabwe, whenever I saying, no, white people must just leave and all that stuff.
Where does Zimbabwe fit into what I said? Huh? No, Zimbabwe was sanctioned and yes, cool, a result of what they did. Now I'm not when are you speaking about the results of Zimbabwe in the long run? I'm saying good leadership after that also is needed. But I'm just joking. But definitely we are turning against the wrong people. Even with the tribalism, the what's going on, we are affected. Black people are mostly affected by this that's going on, and civil war will result in that.
Brav.
It's not the white people that are the cause of the problem, whichever white people those are. Not all white people, of course, but it goes back to anything, like even the xenophobic issues. You have an issue with a foreigner who's African, not the white foreigner.
Because they are not foreigners, they're investors, so they say.
Exactly. So, it goes back to Zuma getting imprisoned. This is what I read. Apparently, a lot of it is also about foreign investors. They trust more in the economy, in the leadership, if you can deal with corruption. Yeah. And not just call it out, but actually deal with it. Because they'll think, okay, vele, my money's safe in your country. So a lot of that, I'm not saying again that Zuma shouldn't be imprisoned or anything like that. But a lot of it is not because what we think it's about. It's about foreign investments and stuff like that. And, protecting other people's interests, not necessarily of the country and what makes sense. For instance, jailing, whether it makes sense criminally and stuff, it doesn't make sense to put Zuma in jail for how people are going to react. So would you rather have unrest, and as long as Zuma's in prison? Like, is this really worth Zuma being in prison? I don't know if you get, there's so many people who are not in prison. I mean, just in general. And you don't worry about them that much. But Zuma must pay for these sins. As if Zuma's still in a position where he can control things. Like Cyril can. I know that, yes. But we're trying to hold someone accountable for old things.
Exactly.
That can't change. So clearly this is about foreign investment. That's the thing that's current. That Zuma could affect. Because they care about, why aren't you dealing with Zuma in a sense? Okari, you are loyal more to Zuma because he's a part of ANC than you are to us who give you the money. So that's, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, true. It's tricky, man. And now tribalism is being used as a weapon.
It's being used as a weapon. Initially, I thought it was also a scapegoat, but hey, bruv, yo. Hey, the Zulus be wilding, dog.
It's hard to. I don't want to say it that way.
Like you must edit that out. Oh no!
It is what it is. The protesters are wilding.
Yeah, the protesters are wilding. I'd like to add as well, because you mentioned something as educated blacks. Are we doing enough?
I didn't mention it yet, so let's give context.
Yeah, no. You mentioned it a little earlier. Now? No, not now, but a little earlier when you mentioned should we be doing more?
Oh, I'm thinking our old conversation.
Oh, no. You see, should we be doing more? I just want to highlight something that already, right, we look at in the business, from a business perspective, we look at whites, we look at Indians, and we kind of are in awe of them at how they conduct it and keep it in their family, how they stick together, right?
Yeah.
So, with that being said, even with what's happening now, because there's privileged blacks who are against the looting, there is unprivileged blacks who are pro-looting.
Yeah.
So I want to speak about the privileged blacks. In the sense that now all of you guys have a common thinking, or you have a common thinking, a common goal. But yet you guys are still not doing anything to stand together. It's only now that they have observed, look, and I don't condone what the Indians
banning the
squatter camps. Yeah, I don't condone how it's happened, but I mean, basically, they
give context. Khotso doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't know the Indians.
So I came across footage. I think you also came across that.
Yeah,
Where Indians in KZN,
in
Pietermaritzburg,
Pietermaritzburg.
were burning some of the squatter camps, the shacks. It's kind of like retaliating, seeing that okay, you're gonna burn our businesses, I guess, or our communities. We will burn your shacks. But I don't think the people were present at that time. Most of the people who live there. But yeah, it was a form of retaliation.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to use that example per se, but I just mean in the sense that the Indians and the whites came together and say, "Hey guys, we are gonna kind of take matters into our own hands to protect what our community."
Yeah.
Whilst us blacks, we can't even unite enough to do that. You know, like the part of the reason why this now is where it is now, there's been a lack of decisive action.
Yeah.
And part of it is on us who are more privileged, because we could have helped influence this. Even if you're not a pro-looter, you're against the looting. You know, you could have went and stood. I'm happy that it's happening now in some places.
Yeah.
Like by Maponya Mall. They are coming. Have they looted Maponya Mall? No.
Yeah.
Because they came and stood together. So us as blacks, I don't know, we don't have it in us to stand together and fight for something that we believe in. I'm not saying what they're believing is right or wrong, but even for that, we can't stand. You know, we just tweet about it at our unhappiness. But why didn't you guys go? Yeah, well, yeah, we make podcasts. But yeah, you know, even with that, we are not involved. I don't know how to place it, but it goes beyond just the protesting. That's why it translates across different spheres. Hence, I brought in the business example. Like, we just don't stand together, and that's another thing that we need to kind of grow into.
Now, yeah, and I agree with you. Unfortunately, it takes more for black people to be that way, that Indians and white people are, because of segregation set up during apartheid, with the tribalism set up. So black communities are not black communities. They are divided. Indians don't do that. They didn't set them up that way. You know, they separated coloreds from white people, from Indian people, from blacks for that reason. And then when they came to black communities, they ensured that, you know, Xhosa stayed where they did, Zulu stayed where they did. So there was division even within that. So by the time it comes to us protecting community or something, you're still only protecting your tribe. And it's still a hard, so it's still, maybe it does exist, but we don't want it to exist on that level. So there is a togetherness of Zulu people. There is a togetherness of Xhosas or whatever, you know. But it's something that we don't want to see, right? So, but if you were, you know what, it does exist. We can do that, is my point. It would take more for us to do it the way white people do, but it's an unfair comparison. Because they just naturally did it. White people saw other white people, okay, let's all just go together and protect whatever, or have the same interests. And you know what I'm saying? Even with the Afrikaners and the English, there's no division. They were afforded the same privileges. So there was no reason for an Afrikaner to look at an English white and think that he's less than. You know, even with those privileges we afforded, or the way, even in government, that's where the Zulus come in with an issue. Like, they were you know, Xhosas were, I mean, even in education-wise, it's known that Xhosas are just, they tend to be very more educated and stuff like that. So it seems as though there's certain interests, or even when certain people are in power, they go more to their tribe and stuff. But with the white people, it wasn't that way. You know, DA is DA for everybody. And so even if we speak different languages, I don't see the difference. So I'm not going to hate you or think that, we don't work together when it's time to work together. So now that we should work together, you're going to find black people working with whites against blacks.
Brav. Wow,
that's the craziest thing, right?
Brav.
And as much as the Maponya Mall thing makes sense, that you need to protect it, but sometimes there's a white person who's protecting his property within Maponya, standing there with black people who are also like, yeah, let's protect the mall. But they're protecting different interests. Those black people are, this is our community, it's our mall. We need to buy food here. Or I work here. While he's standing next to the boss. Yeah, it's my business. Fight for us. Fight for us, Bongile. So you can keep your job. And cool, it works for now. But it's like, no. It's like, it's tricky. It's like, in the long run, Spongile, you're not setting up your family correct. You're still protecting white interests in some way. So even that's why the right makes sense in some way. It's like, yes, you are. For a large part of it is you fighting the system, and I don't. It's tricky. That's. I don't. I'm frustrated,
Bruv. But,
yeah.
Curious though, like, cause cool, the protest started. Apparently, there was pamphlets circulated and posters earlier on. Do you think
they had posters?
Apparently so.
Know these things. Gotta get geek.
So,
come on, what perform at that? Comrades, Shabalala. 2 hours set. Start.
Yeah. Do you think that the collateral damage, or a big majority of the collateral damage, could have been spared? Because we say the protest was going to happen. The reason behind that is irrelevant right now. But
yeah,
do you think the damage, or it getting so big because now it's the repercussions are enormous, like it spread like wildfire, I initially thought it was going to be a day or two, then die a quick death, but it's still going on. Yeah, do you think that could have been prevented? Should the police have done more sooner? Should the government have intervened a lot sooner, like to kind of stop it from spreading like wildfire? Like, what do you think the solution would have been for you?
The president could have come on TV with a solution. That's one of the things. I just say do what the people want, but this is still our country. It's not about authorities. They're there to protect our interests. As much as it's crazy as hell to say, but if the majority are Zulu people and they feel as though this is an attack on them and their leader, I would let Zuma go. I would just for now. I'd find a way to properly work around. Even how can I put it, man? Even the reason behind him going to jail, people don't know how the Zondo Commission works and stuff like that.
Hey,
they don't even know what it is. So when they hear that Zuma is what, they've heard worse. Even Zulu people have heard worse that he's done and stuff. This doesn't make sense to the majority of people of why he's in prison. So I think, yes, not just Zuma, but how can I say? I don't know. I think, more could have been done, but I think a lot of people who prevent this from happening have an interest in it happening. So it's for them as well. This is a plan. Like, I don't know if you saw Dudu Zani's video where he says, please, when you protest, protest protest responsibly. Like, what the...
Like it's an alcohol type of situation. Like it's
protesting can't be... It's irresponsible to... Okay, protesting is not irresponsible, but rioting... He knows what's up. So, it's like, in that video... He clearly wasn't doing what he could have done, which is hold people back. Say, maybe let's change this. Let's not do this. Let's not do it this way. He was just, you know what I'm trying to say? It's like kind of saying, I want to kind of tell you, like, continue, bro. But I want to act like I'm not. So it could have been prevented. What's your thoughts on?
My thoughts on it is a lot of people's concerns or privileged black people's, what they're saying is that now it's criminal. Like, it's not about a cause anymore. It's whatnot, it's criminal. But the fact of the matter is, is Vele, there are a lot of criminal elements which were there before.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the first time riots have happened. 2 years back with the xenophobic attacks, that was also criminal. So the criminal element has always been there, but this highlights the failure of service delivery, the failure of the policemen, because you'll find, let me speak for Ekurileni, what's happened there. Bo, Jamiston, Jeppe, Beria, Hillbro, you know, that's a hotspot. The same places got looted 2 years back. Similar to then KZN. So within 2 years, our police could not identify these hotspots and deal with them. There's been so many hijacked buildings, you know. So if that was dealt with already, this thing was not going to gain as much momentum. It wouldn't have reached this
level of point, right?
Yeah,
that we're in.
That everything is now just burning. Like, it wouldn't have reached that if they had addressed the problem at hand, because some of these guys in the hostels have been terrorizing these areas for several years now, but they're not dealt with. So now we are surprised that it's gotten so big, and people are saying that no, criminals are taking advantage of this. Of course they're going to take advantage of this, because they're criminals there already, like, who are there to take. So if the police, I'm sure they have the intel of what the hotspots could have been, like, they should have clamped down on these places way before there was a protest or a riot, you know. Now it's just like everything is been not exaggerated, but everything has expanded, has exploded because they hadn't clamped down on this crime. And that's another thing where the other point of the coin, that hey, the reason why this is happening has nothing to do with the protest, but criminals running free. And that can't be on us. That can't be on the hungry people, because now you find them also saying, hey, you guys, they looted a whole plasma, you know. Because if there were no criminals, because you had to be a criminal to know how to break down the burglar. You had to be a criminal to know how to open the shutter doors. Without so many criminals out there capable of doing that, it was not going to explode this way. You know. So yeah, it's another failure of service delivery. It's another failure of our current leadership, because a lot of this thing could have been preserved if they had acted
on time.
They had acted on time. They had acted on these people, since they terrorize communities, but nothing is done. Like, you go to those places similar to Sunnyside, a Yeovil, like, there's so much terrorizing being done. So if people would start a protest in Sunnyside, the same thing's gonna happen because of the criminal element. So let's deal with that as well.
Yeah, you remember when the Sunnyside, the one where foreign nationals also formed unity, and then they said that one by one. You remember those ones that time?
In a way to prevent
this strike to happen. So I truly agree with Noel what he says. These things when what would you say? Begikele knew about these places. It's just that he just wanted to act late and come up and have an excuse to say, no, we didn't know. We just found out recently or something like that. Well, to run away from the whole situation and to have an excuse on what's going on. Well, what is it?
Yeah, Kidi Chomis. And I like what you mentioned earlier, that there's possibly a lot of hidden agendas associated with this, because while I'm not pro them calling in the army, I'm totally against them calling in the army, but if that was the action that you guys were going to take it sooner. You know, take it sooner before this continues spreading, because part of the reason why this grew so much is because they reached a point where I'm sure they were even shocked themselves, like, hey, but we're getting away with this. Hey, I stole milk. Hey, I got away with it. Hey, now I'm going to take 5 kg. Hey, I got away with it. Hey, You know, let me start with toiletries. Hey, I'm still getting away with it. Most electronics. And they're shocked, like, hey, so there's really no repercussions. There's really nothing stopping us. And that's how it grew and grew and grew and grew.
Mothers, like certain people, like you said, criminals would usually do this, but now people, you can see it's not in them. Everyone is doing it. They're coming with their cars. Families are doing it together. It's a family trip now. Down, carry their shopping for real, like you know, the best shopping trip that they never thought they'd ever had. And now they're even taking out phones. They don't mind recording themselves because they're thinking there's no way they're gonna catch all of us and put us all in jail.
The thing is, the aftermath of this whole thing, really. Okay, sharp. After we're done here, what's next? Because we have to go to shops, and we're supposed to go and buy some other items and so on and so on. So we can't go anymore because of it's far. Or no matter the one that was close, it's vandalized. But my friend they are not even willing to sell to South Africans anymore. They are.
Who did they sell to?
Look, booty tuck shop.
Just say they're not willing to sell.
They're not willing to sell.
Act like they have another market.
I can't being afraid of. But don't too well, boy.
Yeah, once I open the door, it's over, bro.
Dog. But you know how expensive a PS5 is, dog.
Yeah, I'm not sure, bro.
Gosh.
Yeah.
A part of me was like, why didn't it happen closer, Nyana? Maybe I could pick up Nyana PS5 or Xbox, Nyana.
No, now we're addressing honest thoughts, which is okay. We're not promoting it, but there is that. So there we go. That's my biggest concern. Cool. I see the agenda, the importance of, you know, the changes that need to be made, and in a political way, what needs to happen. Then I also get the fact that some people are hungry and they're doing it out of being desperate and stuff. But like I was saying before, that certain areas, it's like we don't even have to calculate or what. It's clear, most of those people there protesting there don't need to be doing that. They don't need to, not protesting, the ones looting don't need to be doing. They're not hungry. A lot of you can even identify, that's my chomie thing. You know. So in some way that kind of like messes up the purpose behind this. You know what I mean? Even what if people are going to loot for food, right? The ones who need it. But then when are you taking some of those? So now the agenda, like nothing came from it, you know, because by the time the one who's really hungry gets there, food is gone and stuff. So there is that element that doesn't sit well with me, and I can't condone it. I can't condemn it.
You see, we can all make that mistake. It's not our mother tongue. This thing.
But like Google. Condone? Do you condone? I don't condone.
You know, I saw a video.
Condone is to agree. I was correcting Noel for nothing.
Thank you.
I will go back and listen.
Okay.
They looted my English.
Wait. No. To what you're saying, right? I saw a video of some guy looting Woolworths. Right. He comes out with a trolley into a Mercedes that cost more than $1 million, bruv. But this man was looting,
the
dog.
Silver's Mercedes.
Yeah, bruv.
Dog.
So
You see, that's where you're not even a criminal at this point. Like, you're just doing it because. So it's like it's not even in you. Like, so yeah, there is that, man. But you can't prevent certain. It always happen.
You can't. Would you protest if there was a protest nearby? Would you protest for this cause?
Personally, I'm not into protesting. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think I have an effect through protesting. I'm not the best protest. I don't have the best protesting shoes. I can't shout loud because I need to sing. I can't, there's a lot of reasons why I'm not the best guy to call for a protest. So I'm helping you if I don't come through. I'm making space for someone who can do this thing. Someone who can bend tires. Nah, I don't know how to bend a tire. So I'm going to be honest, dog, that, and a lot of us, but I'm not going to, that's why I'm not someone who's going to say, hey. But I'm honest, dog, certain things I just can't do. And it's like, this brings up something that I was thinking about. Let's go back to the June 16, right one? How many of those kids were going against their parents' wishes? How many of those kids were probably getting disowned? My police! Come into my house. Aye, leave. You know, like they were wrong in many people's eyes, right? We only realize how good of a cause it is once it works out. If it doesn't work out, you think, that was bad, they burned the mall. But we don't understand that maybe the idea was a good idea, that this was for something. So, like I said, in June 16, at that time and that moment, I promise you, majority of those kids' parents were not cool with that. Because if they were, kids were not going to be the ones protesting for such. Because the parents send them to these schools. Parents are in a position to fight more than a child would. So it was really terrible that kids had to protest and get shot, you know. So a lot of us sit by and wait for the benefits of these things. You know, it's the truth. It's like the army. Not everyone's going to join the army. No matter how bad the war gets. Even if the guy is right there about to bomb your house, you'd run before you fight that guy. Most people. So, yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
Mara Emma Bello, how does protesting have to have requirements? What are you?
Joke. I was laughing. Noel was laughing. My gosh. Damn. Hey, but thank you for mentioning that. What if someone calls me out? Can you believe this guy? Come on, Khotso, are you serious?
I can remember. I'm just saying.
Hey, this clever black kid.
Why do we have...
No, I'm just being silly. But to some extent, I'm being truthful that it's like anything, like women's rights, whatnot. You're gonna find less men there, right? It doesn't directly affect me, which is bad. It does affect me. It will affect me, right? Anything of this country affects me, but I'm not in a situation where I don't have food in my mouth. So I'm gonna first eat my food before I go and protest. I'm gonna first enjoy the luxuries before I pretend like I don't and go and fight for the needs or for those needs. That's just how most people are. And it takes a special person to say, I'm going to sacrifice my life for other people. Because most people are doing things for their own interest. These protesters and stuff, as much as they seem like they're doing an amazing thing, a lot of them are doing it for themselves. It's a direct impact. I'm taking this for me today. It might affect the cause and stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm not a politician. I'm not a leader. If it was ANC times, if it was apartheid times, I was not going to be in the ANC risking my life. I'm not built that way. I would try and do it another way. I think that's why we're having a conversation is let's talk about, because we can talk, because that's what I like to do.
I think that's what's important, that you say you're not a protester, but at least you are contributing to the cause or to the situation, and that's what's needed from everyone, all of us to contribute to. What about you, Khotso? Would you protest now?
Yeah.
That's not the spirit of it. Yeah, my guy, they're coming now.
For me, it's a situation. I'm one of those guys that guys, I'll catch you there. I don't want to be in front or during the, I will be at the back there, really like, the shooting. No, I'll come back then. Let me go back into.
So what are you doing there? What is moral support?
Yeah, I get a pay.
You don't need a coach, man. When I see you making your own protest jokes, other protesters need a coach to motivate them. Anyway, no, I agree with you, Noel, that let's do what we can. I wanted to have this conversation with you on this podcast because we've had it in person. And there's certain things, obviously, we haven't expressed here. Maybe we can't. Maybe we forgot about them. But, yeah, why not? Because I'm thinking, like I said, I wanted to talk about the usual stuff, but let's not be tone deaf. Let's talk about what's going on now for once, and hopefully it gets better. Hopefully we can. This can also remind me that I don't know much, and maybe we need to know a bit more about the current affairs of our country, so we can really understand the issues of the people who are protesting or the ones you are, condemning or condoning. Yeah, let's say bye, guys. Thank you so much, man. Last words, Khotso.
Nothing much. Thank you for being. Thank you for bringing me on the podcast. Delite. Thank you, guys. Man.
Sure. Thanks, Khotso. Noah.
Aluta Continua.
Okay.
Victory is certain.
Sharp, man.
The people must be heard.
Hey. Remember, this is Delite side of life.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Not danger side of life. Enjoy your week. All the best. Stay safe. Thank you for listening. This was another episode of Delite side of life. Peace.